From Yarm to Yibby, Harrington to Horsley Hill, Swalwell to Silverlink. The North East Footy Breakfast with Roy, Steve and Ted.
Right across the North East, the Red, the Toon and the Cat.
Good morning, everybody. Say good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday, everybody, across this beautiful world of ours, and to you especially on the northeast of England, you absolute sensational, beautiful people of the world. I hope you're fantastic, safe and well. Welcome to the Northeast Footy Brekky Show. You have me, Rye, your host for this brilliant morning. We have Teddy the Mackem. Good morning, Teddy boy.
Hally Mera Mastre, how are you doing?
Bless you. Good, mate. Yeah, doing really well. And Daz, good morning to you, good sir. We're also trying to connect with Steve, so I believe Daz might be trying to do that. Steve's having some technical issues Steve, in Geordie land.
Steve, are we there? We're not there.
We're not there. No, we're not there.
Right,
we're not there.
You guys take it.
All right. Well, we'll kick on. We'll kick on. Yeah. We're trying to get Steve. Don't you worry, Geordie fans. We're trying to get your lovingly bald man back on the show, and we'll work on the technical difficulties. But I've got a fantastic show. It's my last show. Can you believe it? It's the last show that I'm going to host this season, and what a season it's been. Starting on the 28th of August last year, we have now gone a full season, and it'll be my last show. I'm going to hand out some end of season awards, not only to these lads here in the studio, but to you, the listener, as well. We're going to talk about the highlights, the lowlights, from the football to the radio gaff, and we've even got some audio from the very first time Ted, Steve, and myself were on this very show. Can you believe it? See if you can pick up on the nerves as well. I got some awards to hand out. We're going to talk about the best moment we've had on the radio, the best musical performance we can remember, the best guest, which is going to be a big one, best result to cover as well. What was the best result that you guys were looking forward to coming in on a Monday, and the worst result to come into? I think it's an easy one for Teddy boy. And the funniest moment and best news moment as well. It's been almost a year since we all joined up and did this radio show, so a lot has happened in the news, so it's going to be an interesting one to look back and see what's happened in the space of us starting. And as the show and as the season comes to an end, we're going to look at all the, obviously, the latest news. It's managers. It's more than players, Teddy boy, at the moment, isn't it? It's manager merry-go-round completely. Mogga stepping down from Birmingham yesterday. Yep. Obviously, his ongoing health issues. He does intend to return to management at some point, but he's decided to step down. Vincent Kompany has been linked to Bayern after being relegated with Burnley. Kieran McKenna, obviously at Ipswich, now linked to Man United. Obviously an ex-Man United lad. They reckon they're going to poach him from that. Pochettino sacked at Chelsea last night. My goodness me, people. Give us a break. It's off-season. Can't believe it. And the England squad got announced. It's absolutely been a ruthless night for some of these lads. And Marcus Rashford, who joins us today, and I'm kidding, he doesn't join us because we don't want him, just like England don't as well. Ha Marcus, he's out. We're going to talk about that England squad, who was selected, who was left out, and any surprises that the lads might have thought. And can you believe it? Newcastle United are on my doorstep. They're here, Teddy boy. Newcastle United are in Australia. I sent them all
hide your silverware.
I did, yep. I sent them some kangaroo mints that I made myself, and I sent them all a Borough scarf, and I wasn't invited, unfortunately, because apparently some Geordie fans know me as a true Borough fan, so I wasn't invited out there, which is weird. Given that myself and Ange are great friends. So, but we're going to talk about that. We've got Premier League teams down here in Australia, can you believe it, on Australian soil. All that and a lot more. But it is the end of the season show, my last show. It's going to be an emotional one as I sign off as your host for this week. I'm still here Thursday, Friday, don't worry. But it'll be the last time I host. The last time you guys get the satisfaction of hearing me more than these other two, which we all want at the end of the day, really.
Roll on Friday.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Steve, I'm just plugged something else in. Steve, are you there? He's only up the road as well. We're having one or two technical difficulties getting in touch with our Steve. I mean, we can get in touch with Australia. We can get in touch with...
Yes.
Where are you?
Cyprus.
Where are you?
It's all right. I've only been on the show since October. It's all right. Who are you again?
Yeah, what's your name?
What are you? Ted? How do you spell that?
Yeah, lovely.
So yeah, but we can't connect. We can't connect to Newcastle this morning, but we'll keep trying.
We might try and we might try and wait. We'll wait off on the club updates to see if we can work on Steve. But in the meantime, Teddy boy, it's you and me, mate, until we get Steve back online, mate. But it's been a long time, mate. You started on the 6th of October. Obviously, you started a little bit later than Steve and I.
I did.
Steve and I starting on the 28th of August. You coming in and joining us on the 6th of October, mate. It's been an absolute whirlwind. And I tell you what, it's been quite an emotional up and down season. Not only for football, but for you and I, making this relationship to what it is today. I mean, we started off laughing in some audio that I went and back and listened to. You know what was funny as well? The very first show you joined that weekend was Middlesbrough versus Sunderland. Did you know that? At the Stadium of Light for that game. That was that week.
Wasn't it? Yes.
It was. That was your very first week. Can you believe it?
Brilliant.
So we were talking about that in that first show. But it's crazy how much we've blossomed from, co-hosts on the radio to lovers.
Sorry. I think I lost connection like Steve there. What was that? Sorry.
No, you can't do that. You heard me loud and clear, right? We are best friends.
I suppose how can we be lovers if we can't
now.
be friends, mate? Yeah.
Yes, get in. How good's Michael Bolton? My goodness, Teddy boy, it's been an absolute whirlwind, and fantastic season, mate. And as we look back on what a tumultuous season for Sunderland, I tell you what, the shining light for me was this very Brekky show and getting to know my good friend in Cyprus. How have you found it since joining the radio show, mate? And every Monday to Friday, even though you have Thursdays off because we put you on gardening leave.
It's been mad, hasn't it? Because I partially feel responsible for the demise of Sunderland's season. Because the minute I started doing this show on the regular, all of a sudden we went into some sort of nosedive. Mogger lost his job. We appointed Michael Beale. It's kind of like, I think half the Sunderland fans don't want me back next season, to be fair. But there you go. But no, it's been a blast. Obviously I know Steve's probably listening at the moment, but getting to know you lads, getting to know Daz, getting to know Dave, it's just been brilliant, and even when Sunderland have been absolutely miserable, I've still been half looking forward to just getting on air on the Monday morning and having a right good whinge about it, which I think my whinges and rants are probably becoming better known than anything else that I've ever done in my life. But there you go. Listen, it's great. I absolutely love doing the show. I am going to miss it for the few weeks. We became
your support network, didn't we, really, every Monday morning for a bit there? I mean, I don't know how much supporting you did. It was like. Oh yeah, I just called us lovers, and you agreed. For a Monday, especially here in Australia, the reason obviously I got into football and all that sort of stuff, doing my watch-alongs and doing YouTube stuff with it, was because I'm alone here in Australia at 2 a.m. But to have a connection now with you lads, and to be able to come in on a Monday, Tuesday, even Monday to Friday, and just chew the fat about football has been an absolute whirlwind for me. I mean, I hardly talk about Premier League down here in Australia because not many people follow it. Do you know what I mean? It's not a massive sport here. So having the opportunity to come in and chew with you, talk about it with you has been absolutely incredible. And while we're on that topic as well, Teddy boy, obviously you were talking there about Mogger. Incredible news coming in overnight that Mogger has regrettably stepped down as Birmingham City head coach. We both thought potentially it could happen, didn't we? But the Teessider is now focusing on his health, and he said that he's focusing on trying to spend quality time with his family. He obviously took charge of Birmingham in January, but he was forced to take a break the following month due to illness after being sensationally sacked at Sunderland unfairly, which I think we're all putting through a legal case to sue them for as well. Mogger released the following statement, and I just want to read out a few highlights of the statement. It is a very long statement, but just a few highlights from what Mogger had to say. But he said, as people will be aware, I'm currently undertaking a period of extended convalescence following significant and unexpected surgery earlier in the year, which required that I take a period of medical absence. Throughout this period, I have watched every Birmingham City game along with every training session whilst I remained in positive and constructive dialogue with Tom Wagner, Gary Cook and Craig Gardner. Unfortunately, over the very recent days, it's become apparent to me that I will not be fully fit to resume my duties as manager of Birmingham City in the timescale that would allow the club to best prepare for the forthcoming season now in League One. Therefore, I have regrettably decided to step away from my role at this time. Once I have fully recovered, it is important to me that I then spend some quality time with my wife and my boys before I fully commit again to work. I'm extremely grateful to Tom Wagner and to Birmingham for all of the opportunities they gave me, and I wish you all the best for your season in League One. What an emotional exit. I mean, there is a lot more to the statement. It doesn't end there. Mog, obviously, a very, very, a wordsmith,
yes, absolutely.
if you could say the least. But we expected it kind of, Ted, but it still does come a bit of a shock that, unfortunately, his illness has not allowed him to continue with Birmingham. But now Birmingham League One, I still do think that Mogger has got the potential to jump back in the Championship, if not maybe the Premier League as well, when he does find himself, fully fit to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, it's health before wealth, and he's absolutely right to take the time out that he needs, and especially to spend time with family. When it's obviously it's been something serious, and I think that's he's right to take that time with his family and spend it with his wife and his boys as well. Like I think that's absolutely a smart move to do. That kind of thing helps aid with recovery for sure. Listen, I think there will always be a place for Tony Mowbray as a manager of a football club, certainly at Championship level. There's not many better than Tony Mowbray, in terms of what we saw, what we saw from the time we had with him at Sunderland. Some of the best football I've ever seen a Sunderland side play, and I don't say that lightly. And he's responsible for that. He's a proper football man. He's a proper northeasterner as well. He values the working class background of the clubs in the northeast. He values the way the fans are grafters. He realises, he's one of those. He knows the price of a pint. Tony Mowbray, let's put it that way. He's a realist, and I honestly, I hope, yes, absolutely, Tony. Take your time and come back when you're ready to do it. Absolutely. Listen, he's not going to be short of offers. He's a fantastic manager, fantastic guy, very well thought of by everyone in the northeast. So speedy recovery, Tony.
Is it interesting, the timing of it all, that potentially, now obviously he's not going to be ready for the start of season, we're all aware of that, but I mean, you're still without a manager. Mogger's now got no club to return to. Do you know what I mean? Are the stars aligning for a potential reunion there, or do you think it's too far gone now?
I think A, it's too far gone, and B, I just don't think it will quite align. Obviously the whole reason he's not going back to Birmingham is because he's not going to be there for a pre-season at the very least. Yeah. So it's just not going to quite work out for us, unfortunately. Don't get me wrong, right? I thought the same myself. I'm thinking interesting, because Sunderland fans would have him back in a heartbeat. I've got no doubts about that. I think it's just going to be probably 2 or 3 months the wrong side. I mean, knowing the way that Sunderland go through managers, we'll probably sack another one before Christmas and Tony Mowbray will get the job again. But let's be honest, we do go through 2 a season, so he's still got his chance. It could be a Merry Christmas for Tony Mowbray coming back to Sunderland at this rate. But there you go.
I do like that he's taken the opportunity as well. A man that is probably one of the hardest working gaffers out there has recognised the time that once he has fully recovered, that he said it's important to him to spend some quality time with his wife and his boys as well before he fully commits to work. I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to health scares, it's a very quick reminder that you are a father and husband first, isn't it?
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. And taking time with family. Listen, your family comes first before anything.
100%.
We all know that.
100%. We do, yeah.
Absolutely. So it's as much as football is people's lives, and I get that. It's hugely important, especially the people of the northeast. Their football clubs are their lives, and Mogger is a proper football man. Don't make no mistake about that. But he's making absolutely the right choice. Life can be very, very short, mate. So you've got to make the most of it.
Not wrong.
And spend time with his family. His wife and his boys is paramount in this one. Like I say, that aids with recovery. Depending on your family. I mean, mine drive me nuts, but
Shout out to
Morning,
Ted Stanley
Jill.
if you're tuning in.
Yeah, I was going to say, my sister Gillian's probably listening, just swearing at the phone, at the radio
and
right
we've just
now.
lost 4 or 5 family members of Ted listening to our station this morning. Daz, I
still like you, Suzanne.
No, no, Steve. Still, we'll talk to you, Daz, quickly if we can about Mogga, mate. Obviously, coming out overnight announcing that he will not be. He won't be continuing at Birmingham City. He's decided to resign, focus on his health, then spend some time with his wife and boys. But then he said he will return to management in the near future. But something that I don't know, we were just saying that we kind of expected it. We both thought that Mogga was too good for a League One push, but it has sort of obviously aligned that with his health and Birmingham City's relegation as well, that Mogga won't be continuing there, and he's now looking for a new job once again, and he's third in the space of almost 12 months now.
Yeah, it's I was really saddened by the announcement yesterday. It is, you know, it is the right decision without absolute doubt. He's got to look after himself and his family, and you know he's clearly spotted that, you know, he's not going to be ready to help take the club forward how he wants to do that, which is a real shame, because I'm sure he would be, you know, chomping at the bit to get on there, to get them out of that league. It's interesting. I was talking to a Birmingham fan yesterday, an interview that will go out next week. A guy who was in a band who's coming to the Northeast, and he's a Birmingham fan, and he said he's really looking forward to next season. There's a real, I don't know,
really?
Yeah, they're feeling really positive, because what they know is they can't have a worse season what they had last year.
Fair enough.
You know, it's a case.
We thought that when we went to League One as well.
Oh yes, wish I'd said
4
that.
years later.
But he was
we
very
laugh at
optimistic,
Sunderland.
and
Thanks, mate.
yeah, that's your friend there. After all those lovely things he said earlier.
Lover.
I know, honestly.
So yeah, I mean, it is the right call. You know,
I agree.
We got a little update from Bernie a couple of weeks ago.
We did, yeah.
That he's, you know, he is heading in the right direction, which is great news. Obviously, it's just going to take a little bit longer. So I think this is the right decision all round, and you know, we just absolutely wish him all our very best. We want to see him back in management, and you know, it doesn't surprise me, Ted, that you know that your fans would take him back in a heartbeat, because you know, he is a legend and he's got so much to offer. You know, yes, he's got his style. You know, he knows what he wants, and he knows what he. But then again, shouldn't every manager, you know what they want?
Well, absolutely.
And
he's one of the few that has a proper football identity. You know, the way his sides play, and that's so important. You know, there's no kind of. There's no second guessing with Tony. It's we play this way and we give other people a problem, rather than thinking about the opposition and kind of, you know, playing, I guess, trying to outplay them at their own game.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunderland had an identity of football, and it was great.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah.
oh, he's
Ready!
How are you doing, sir?
I've used Chrome, lads. I'm
Open Chrome. If only you'd followed my advice at the start, Steve.
Yeah, but you sounded like Davros, so I couldn't understand what you were saying.
Bobby,
welcome back, mate. It's good to have you back.
Oh, don't even do that.
What? I'm not.
hilarious. Yeah, hilarious.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, and a big thanks to Daz for trying his best, and a big thanks to Dave for trying his best when he's away.
Morning.
Dave, we're sorted, mate. We're sorted. Thank you.
Well done. Welcome in, Steve. We've just been talking about Mogga. Obviously, his Birmingham City resignation overnight. Obviously, his health unable to let him continue. He decided to step down. We read the statement out, Steve, and I'll get your thoughts just quickly, mate, because we love Mogga here on the Northeast Footy Brekky Show. We want to get him on and have a chat to him, not to ask about his health or where he's going to end up, but just tell him that we love him. But obviously, his statement last night, Steve, saying, "I've decided over the very, very recent days, it's become apparent to me that I will not be fully fit to resume my duties as manager of Birmingham City in the time scale that would have allowed the club to best prepare for their forthcoming season now in League One. Once I've fully recovered, it is important to me need that I spend some quality time with my wife and my boys before then I fully commit to working again. Just your thoughts on obviously Mogga stepping down. Something we kind of maybe expected, but still a shock.
Yeah, massive shock, I guess. But it's a big shock that he's had this illness. I mean, it's a wake up call, I think, for us all to never take your life for granted and never take your circumstances for granted, because in the blink of an eye things can change. And he was doing so well at Sunderland. Had a tough start, and then and sadly for him, moved on. I think we've spoken on here a few times about the fact that a lot of Sunderland fans probably wish that hadn't happened now, especially with what came after Mogga. But our thoughts are always going to be with him. I mean, I bumped into him as you know, Rye, at the start of the season on the train, and we ended up having a good natter. He was, he's such a lovely guy, and he's doing the right thing. He needs to get his health sorted first. He needs to do that. Then he needs to, spend that little bit of time with his family before he even thinks about venturing back into football. But it's not unexpected. As I say, the illness was, and let's hope that he makes a full recovery, and then we'll see him back on the touchline at the club very, very soon.
I just want to quickly go around the traps before we take a short break and then come back with my very last show of hosting. Can you believe it? It's going to be a fantastic show with lots of me talking over the top of Ted. Not so much Steve, because he hasn't been here. I'm gonna look after Steve, but Ted I'll talk over for the rest of the show. That's just quickly, when Mogga does intend to return, we've seen overnight Pochettino sacked by Chelsea, Vincent Kompany at Burnley, potentially going to Bayern Munich, Kieran McKenna at Ipswich. Your hot tip, if you were to say where Mogga might end up, Ted, if you would have a quick guess.
Oh,
Premier League, Championship, any clubs you think that he would suit?
Championship, definitely.
Okay.
And it'll be somebody in and around the playoffs. Don't be surprised. Hull City are another one a little bit like us that can kind of hire and fire quite quickly.
Well.
I think somebody like Hull City. If there's, listen, it depends who falls first, really, doesn't it? I think if there's a manager falls early and it's somebody who's like a mid-table and above side, then that's made for Mogga to make his mark and fire them into the playoffs and maybe even automatic promotion. I do rate him that highly. He's one of the best managers around for
my hot tip is Burnley. I'm watching Burnley very closely for Mogga. I reckon Vincent Kompany's going to go, and he might end up there. I think Burnley style suits him. Daz, quick tip on where you think Mogga might end up?
Burnley's a good shout actually. If he moves on, I don't know.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
The way that Sunderland are going about their managerial appointment, it may well be he's coming back to Sunderland. They may not find anyone. He needs to be at a big team. I think at a high profile team. He's done the lower teams like Sunderland. He needs to be back in a bigger team in the Championship. I think fighting for promotion.
And Steve, can you see Mogga potentially returning to the Premier League when he comes back to work?
No, definitely not. I think I agree with the lads. He's a Championship manager.
Okay.
And I think that's that's his level. I think we've all agreed on that as well this season. That he's somebody who can get a team motivated to get into the playoffs or get automatic promotion, and he's done it before and he'll do it again, I'm sure. But I would say the teams that you've mentioned, the Hull Cities, the Burnleys of this world, are probably the level that he would probably like to go back in at. I don't think he'd go back to Sunderland. I think that ship sailed. Yeah. And I think from his perspective, I think he'd be happy with the job he did there, and I don't think he would go back. But I think Hull and Burnley are a good shout.
Righto, well, it's time for a short break. When we come back, all of us are going to be here. We've got Steve, we've got Ted, we've got myself, we've got Daz pushing our buttons. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about that England selection, ruthless Southgate picking the squad, grounded on a brutal reality, facing that one as well. And we're also going to have a listen to the very first time Ted and Steve were on this very show. Oh, don't miss it.
There's also something really, really special coming up in our show as well, which is a bit of a, it's a bit of a coup. We have got tickets to give away for James Arthur at the Riverside Stadium. It's really, really exciting.
Is he coming on?
He is next week, actually. He's going to come on the show next week. So,
I'll see you out then.
yeah, please. We've teamed up with SGM Concerts to give you a chance to win. We've got a few tickets to give away this week.
I bet.
For his homecoming concert on Saturday the 8th of June. All you need to do is listen out for the song Say You Won't Let Go. We might play it in breakfast this morning. We might play it in my mid-morning show.
What if I start singing? What if I start singing it?
No, don't confuse the people.
No, okay.
So it could be this morning. It's probably likely this morning, actually. As soon as you hear the track, all you need to do is WhatsApp us your name on 0330 043 2002. Start your message with the word win. And you could be a winner going to see James Arthur at the Riverside Stadium on June the 8th. So keep listening.
From Wickham to Whitley Bay, Stonygate to Shields, Doggy to Darlow Backlane, Steve, Ted and Rye. The North East Footy Breakfast.
Right across the Northeast, the Red, the Toon and the Cat.
Welcome back to the Northeast Footy Brekky Show. Happy Wednesday the 22nd. The football is over. The season is done, as is the Northeast Footy Brekky Show coming to an end this Friday. It is my last show, the last time that I will host and talk over the two lads, which, you know, I don't think it's going to stop me at all, because of lads. But anyway, we've got everyone here. Good morning to you, Steve Finey. Thank you for getting it all sorted, mate, and joining us. It's good to have you. And as Steve, your mob in my backyard, mate. Newcastle touching down yesterday in Australia. I was there waiting with a sign saying Anthony Gordon come to Middlesbrough in the airport in my full borough kit. As he walked past me, he gave me the finger and kept walking. I didn't get much love from Nick Pope either, or anyone like that as I walked them, but I did hand them some freshly cooked kangaroo mince, mate. But Newcastle, straight on a plane, straight down under in my backyard, mate. I believe they play tonight, my time, against Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you must have been completely mortal, because Anthony Gordon isn't actually on the tour.
My bad.
He's actually in England. Probably didn't help your case. But anyway, they are.
Got them confused.
The first game, obviously, is today, 7:45 your time, 10:45 a.m. British summer time. So Newcastle fans are going to get the opportunity to watch it on nufc.co.uk. If they got an email over the last couple of days, they will have had a code and they can have submitted it. Newcastle have given us the game for free, which is great. So we get an opportunity to watch both games. And some people have complained about this. Some people have said that it's a bad idea, travelling away to Australia at the end of a hard season. But I look at it on the flip side. I mean, this is again, it's a bit of a team bonding exercise. It's a great opportunity for a few of the young players to get a bit of experience travelling abroad with the first team, and they're going to get a few minutes in the black and white shirt. Garen Kowal, I mean, obviously great opportunity for him to go watch. Watched a wonderful interview with him on our socials yesterday, where he's talking about being in and around his hometown and just great being back home and great to play in the black and white over there. It's a great exercise. And then we saw the Mackem Slayer, of course, as he's affectionately known, Shola Amiobi, club ambassador, the Lone Ranger at Newcastle. He's heavily used now for going on these kind of trips and spreading the word of Newcastle. He was talking about the club, telling a few stories about his career alongside Ange Postecoglou, who was doing a talk on behalf of Spurs, and it was at the MCG, which is of course where the game's being played. And it's great. I mean, it's a great opportunity for Newcastle to spread the word, on the other side of the world about the club and
how good Middlesbrough.
And this is what it's all about. FFP for Newcastle. This money that we're making from this trip. We're making £3 million from this trip. That's £1 million more than Manchester United and Manchester City will get if they win the FA Cup at the weekend. So that tells you the reason that Newcastle are doing this. It's money based, and every penny counts, I'm afraid, with FFP, and we have to do these things. Hence the reason that the pre-season already includes a trip to the Adidas headquarters in Germany, and also includes a trip to Japan. So it's about making Newcastle commercially a brand that people are commercially aware of around the world. So look, these players are contracted to the club. They go where the club tell them to go, and I just think it's it's part and parcel of it. And the more that we hear from fans around the world saying that they support Newcastle United, the more that it's going to help us grow as a club. So well done to Peter Silverstone and Darren Eales for getting this in the bag at the end of the season. And it's a small hardship as a football player to go to another country which you probably haven't been to, on the other side of the world, get a chance to experience some of the great things in your country, right? Have a game of football and then come back.
Myself.
I tell you what, I would love to do that. If that was offered to me at the end of
have dinner with me.
A hard week's work, keeping up with you on this show, and if Dave said, "Look, Steve, I'm going to fly you to Australia, so that you can actually see Rye in the flesh," then
yes,
of course I would do it. Yeah.
Yes, you would. I thought you were going to say no then.
Of course I would do it, right? Of course I would do it.
Well, it is great to see, obviously, football in our backyard. Premier League teams, Tottenham taking on Newcastle United here, and obviously a good insight there to Newcastle's trip down under. They have been linking up with local AFL team Collingwood, who are also called the Magpies as well. But it's good exposure. But just a quick warning to all my fellow Australians: just don't forget there's more than just one Northeast team to focus on, and don't fall in love with the new. Just have a look before you go, oh, I love Newcastle. Yeah, just have a look around. There's some more.
Darlington, both playing black and white.
You know what was great though as well? I saw Newcastle United putting some photos up, and Eddie Howe is actually on the set of Neighbours. Did you see this, Steve? Eddie Howe and
yes,
Jace, they're actually on the set of Neighbours, which was absolutely fantastic. I thought that's great.
I think Eddie would be great in that. He could be the local football team coach.
Oh,
yeah, he could do that.
Imagine. I hope there's an episode with him in it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know how that. This new Pommy bloke's moved in down the road. God, he's rude. Do you know what I mean? Or something. And he's just yelling. Profanity at someone or something. That'd be great. Oh, geez, that'd be a Neighbours show.
Keith going in it as well. I mean, Ted going in it as well.
We missed the club updates, obviously because we didn't have Steve with us. So we're going to do the quick club updates now, where we go around the three Northeast teams and find out what's making news this Wednesday morning.
Smoggies and Proud Borough News.
Good morning, my off-season Borough fans. How are we? Hope you're well. Love you. Miss you. Michael Carrick may have already found the solution to a potential issue this summer. Middlesbrough finished 8th in the championship, falling short of the playoffs in a season many had tipped for us to secure automatic promotion. However, given Carrick's side did not win in the league until their 7th game, the Borough boss can reflect on a job well done after the initial disappointment wore off. There was a number of impressive performances at the Riverside this season, and is bound to lead to some summer interest. But one such player is Seny Dieng, apparently reportedly having interested from Newcastle United and Crystal Palace. It is likely Seny Dieng will not be going anywhere, as Michael Carrick said, we are not a selling club this summer. You get in! One player that might be showing the door, though, is likely to cut ties with left-back Hayden Coulson, who has been on loan to Blackpool. Hayden Coulson is due to return to Middlesbrough after his loan spell, but it is thought that a Blackpool deal is on the table already for Hayden, and when he initially gets back to Borough, they will be looking to tie up a deal for Hayden to return to Blackpool, where he will move permanently. Hayden signed a new deal with Middlesbrough last summer, but ultimately has found himself down the pecking order behind Engel and Bangura. It looks like Hayden Coulson's time at Middlesbrough has come to an end. That's your Borough updates. Good morning.
Magpies and Proud. Mags News.
Newcastle United are in Australia and play the first of their 2 friendlies today. First up is a meeting with Tottenham at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. It kicks off at 7:45 local time, 10:45 British summer time. The game will be live on nufc.co.uk and is free for season ticket holders and members. The 33-man training squad was named by England boss Gareth Southgate on Tuesday, and it's going to be whittled down to 26 following next month's friendlies against Bosnia and Herzegovina at St James's Park and, of course, Cyprus at Wembley. Newcastle have got 2 inclusions, Anthony Gordon and Kieran Trippier. And the Magpies are once again participating in the annual Hong Kong Standard Chartered Sevens this weekend, staged at Hong Kong FC. They'll face Tai Pao, Leicester City and Singapore Cricket Club in their opening trio of games. The squad that's out there is compiled of Adam Harrison, Alfie Harrison, James Huntley, Sean Neve, Darren Palmer, Joe Brayson, Logan Watts, Harry Powell, Johnny Emerson and Dylan Stevenson. Newcastle first entered this tournament in 2012 and had lifted the main trophy on 3 occasions. That's your Newcastle headlines on Wednesday the 22nd of May.
Mackems and Proud. Black Cats News.
Good morning, Sunderland fans. The football is not over yet. Details have been confirmed for Sunderland Under-21's Premier League 2 playoff final against Tottenham Hotspur. Graham Murty's side will travel to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this Sunday, 26th of May. Kick-off is at 3 p.m. Tickets are priced at £10 for adults and only £2 for under-18s and are available by visiting safc.com. Sounds like a nice way to end the season. Hopefully we'll get as many fans as possible into the capital for that one. Sunderland AFC have also announced the club's first slate of pre-season fixtures ahead of the 2024-25 season. The schedule so far is a double-header on Saturday the 13th of July. They'll take on South Shields at their stadium at 12:30 p.m, followed by a friendly against Gateshead FC at 5 p.m. the same day. Saturday the 20th of July and the 21st of July will be in Costa Blanca, and the games are yet to be announced. The Saturday the 27th of July is away at Blackpool, a nice way to spend your summer holidays. Tuesday the 30th of July, Bradford City, and one game to be confirmed yet on the weekend of August the 3rd. Get on to safc.com for any updates for that one. And finally, Sunderland appear to be interested in the now former Liverpool coach, Peter Krawietz, who leaves alongside Jurgen Klopp. Isn't yet clear whether his interest is serious, but will Liam Rosenior and Bo Svensson remain the frontrunners for the vacant Sunderland position for now. 52-year-old Krawietz is credited with helping to bring through a number of youth players to the senior Liverpool squad, which will be of particular interest to the Sunderland hierarchy. That's your Sunderland update.
From Wickham to Whitley Bay, Stonygate to Shields, Doggy to Darlow Backlane, Steve, Ted and Rye. The North East Footy Breakfast.
Right across the northeast, the red, the tune and the cat.
And you can get in touch with the show at any point on 0330 043 2002. We'd love to hear from you this morning. That's also the number that you need if you are after a couple of tickets to the James Arthur concert at the Riverside Stadium. We've got loads of tickets to give away this week and in a couple of weeks' time as well. All you need to do is listen out for the song Say You Won't Let Go. As soon as we play it, drop us a WhatsApp 0330 043 2002. Start your message with the word win. We just need your name on there, and you could be a winner. A couple of people who have messaged us already. Someone in Cyprus is getting off early on the James Arthur. No, not yet. We've had a message from Geordie in this morning. Morning, guys. What does everyone think of the Dan Ashworth emails?
Very funny.
Yeah.
He's been a naughty boy.
Incredible. Has he really? I haven't seen this.
Can we talk about it on the radio?
Are we allowed to?
Yeah. Craig Hope put the story out last night. I mean, Craig Hope does get a few exclusives, and something we mentioned actually or alluded to on NUFC Matters a while back. You know that there was a lot more to go with this story, but he's had an email blunder, shall we say, and it's opened the door to a tapping up probe. So basically, Dan Ashworth sent a message to a Newcastle United account revealing a secret exchange with the incoming Manchester United chief, Omar Barada, who's on Man City gardening leave, and it was before a formal approach.
Right.
So he's copied Newcastle United in.
Oh,
jeez.
So basically, this took an unexpected turn. But he's basically sending an email to this Newcastle United address inadvertently, but he's revealed that he was being tapped up. by the incoming Manchester United chief executive. So that was, and he was, and that guy was still on gardening leave from Manchester City. So it's just a huge blunder, error of judgment, whatever you want to call it, on the part of the two men who are going to be charged with essentially restructuring Manchester United by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. And the best thing about it is, this is no doubt about it, but the Premier League will have to look at this as well. So not only is he on gardening leave and can't get to Man United yet, but now he could literally be stuck. I just don't know what can happen here, and it depends what action the Premier League take. But what he's done is, people say people are thinking is he sent it to like somebody by mistake. What he's done is he sent a blind copy to his own Newcastle United email address. So basically, that's disclosed to the club the covert negotiations that were going on. Absolutely mental.
It is wild. Absolutely incredible that. Lads, we're going to take a short break just to catch up on a few things. We've got to get your travel news of what's happening around the Northeast this morning as well. When we come back, though, we've got to talk about the England selection. Plus, I have got some audio of Ted and Steve's first very radio show here on the Northeast Footy Brekky Show as we look back at the season that was. We'll be back right after this.
Together across the Northeast.
The Tune, the Cat and the Red.
You can WhatsApp the show at any point on 0330 or 043 2002 to speak to our three leg ends this morning. We've got Steve, we've got Ted, we've got Rye, and someone who has done just that is Bazza. Morning, Bazza. Morning, lads. Great start to the day on his birthday, he's saying. Happy birthday, yeah.
Happy birthday.
Steve, do you think Lewis Hall for England instead of Shaw? I know we are going to talk about the whole England team after our chat yesterday.
I'd say no, mate. He's too inexperienced and too young. I think we were all asking why was Lewis Hall not playing for England, not playing for Newcastle, on a regular basis, and a lot of people thinking it was all because of the the contract, etc. But he wasn't ready. I think Eddie Howe knew that, and there's been some great performances. There's been some hit and miss performances. He's raw talent, and to chuck him into the mix with the England full team, no, definitely not. I get where you're coming from with the injuries to the England back four. We discussed it quite a lot yesterday, but no, I would say Tino Livramento is a step ahead of Lewis Hall as far as development's concerned, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Tino Livramento make a break into the England squad next season, if he continues to play the way he has done, and eventually replaces Kieran Trippier as we'd expect him to. I think Tino Livramento will be giving himself an England shirt and an England cap very soon.
And don't forget, you are listening out for Say You Won't Let Go for James Arthur. You might hear it this morning on the Northeast Footy.
I might sing it.
Yeah. That would be a real treat for us, wouldn't it? As soon as you hear it.
Hold on, I think the internet service is going again.
0330 or 043 2002. As soon as you hear that song, start your message with the word win. We just need your name, and you could be going to see James Arthur. Back to you, Ryan.
Imagine?
Yeah.
Hey, can you imagine? Well, welcome back, lads. It is obviously the Northeast Footy Brekky shows last week, and it made me reminisce. It made me sit back with my grey hair, rub my hands together and think, geez, it's been a long season. I mean, we started off, Steve and I, young, inexperienced, coming together like two cattle thrown in a field and told, go and milk this for all it's worth. And then a couple of months later, we had young Teddy the Mackham join us. And I, lads, went back and I actually dug up some audio of the very first time that we were each on the show. Let's start it off, Daz, and go back to the very, very first show of this year, of this season, obviously, of the very, very inaugural show of between Steve, Rye, and I think it was Dave hosting as well. This is the very first Northeast Footy Brekky show. Just a snippet. Just listen to make out who's a bit nervous or not.
I'm hoping this is the right one because I've got two here,
yes,
and they're both unnamed.
Yes.
So
oh no! Okay.
So
this could be Rye Sexty. This could be Rye Sexty.
Yeah,
I might have sent you the wrong audience.
It's not long.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's 30 seconds.
The Red, the Cat and the Tune.
pretty apt, isn't it, for a Northeast Footy Brekky show? Oh no, I think I'm in love. Tends to sum up all football fans about your football club, particularly Newcastle United as well, which I thought after that opening game of the season, it was looking pretty rosy for them. But 2 straight defeats, Steve. You should have the prayer mat out, mate. You should be, looking at the win gods, because you'll soon be slipping into a Borough sort of run of form if you're not careful.
We'll be all right, Dave. Don't you worry about us. You just worry about the Borough.
Yeah, I've got plenty to worry about on that score. I'm telling you. Yeah, so we've got Steve Wraith, we've got Rye. Rye, what do we call it? We're just calling you Rye because that's what you go on social media. Can I call you Rye Invictus, or can I?
You can call me Ricky as well. Ricky's my real name, but everyone just shortened it to Rye. Everyone got lazy as we went on, and it's sort of like a military as well thing. Like I was in the military in Australia here for 12 years, and they love their acronyms, and it always got shortened to Rye. And first name being Ricky, I also got Bobby a lot as well. So
Ricky,
I don't mind what you call me as long as it's nothing mean or makes me cry. So
yeah, we'll probably do that before the season's out.
And we did, didn't we?
We'll probably do that, he said. Hey,
and then this is the other one. This is the other file.
This is Ted. This is Ted.
This
And
is
it's
Ted.
here. It's here. We have a Mackem.
It's
Ted.
Mackem.
Ted.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing? Are we all good?
Listen to that
The microphone's awful.
Derby. Ted, can we start off with that?
Right. I hate to start on a negative, right? And you're a lovely lad, I'm sure of that, but it's not a derby.
Lovely lad.
It's absolutely not a derby. You might think it's one.
Okay, that
we
changed.
Get excited about this game. I know all you've got to look forward to is Palmos and pictures of you in that bridge. But
They're preparing themselves for defeat already.
So there
Absolutely
you go.
fantastic.
Wow.
There you go. That is the audio from Steve and my.
Glad I spent a bit of money on a mic.
Of course, was Teddy Boy coming in for his very first show. Lads, I want to take you back there quickly. Steve, obviously, we started it off, mate, back in August. Were there any nerves coming into doing a Northeast Footy Brekky show with an Australian that you knew was probably loud? And obviously, what were your initial thoughts about coming on and the season that it has been of us here on the Northeast Footy Brekky show?
Yeah, look, I met Dave Roberts, prior to this last year to talk about the idea. He'd come to me, and I'm obviously, I was honoured that he'd even considered me to do it, and he give us the opportunity, give us all the opportunity, but it was I thought it might not work because I genuinely thought, how can you get a Middlesbrough, a Sunderland, and a Newcastle fan all to do a radio show together and not at some point be a huge argument. I guess in one way I felt that Dave wanted us to all disagree, and I was a bit, I've got to be honest, I was a bit concerned about that because it's nowadays we live in a day of social media, and it's the way that these things can be misconceived by the listeners. But we've actually created a really good community. We've got great listeners. We've got 2 great guys who run the show with us, Dave and Daz, and from our perspective it's worked out really well, and I was never nervous. I think you guys know I've done this for over 25 years now, talked about Newcastle. It's something I can do standing on my head. I guess the only concern I had, again, other than the whole Northeast rivalry thing, was just how it was going to work with us all sitting in completely different parts of the world, using a system which, as we know, we've had a few issues on and off. I've had them this morning, but listen, all in all, for probably 95% of the time, this system hasn't let us down, and it's been great, lads, because I think the one thing you can't show is a mutual respect for each other. It comes with practice, and practice makes perfect, and we've managed to do that on the airwaves. I know you joke about talking over the top of each other. You're definitely the loudest of the 3, but I think we've managed to mould you like a piece of pottery, mate, into something which is a half decent broadcaster, and you've done well. And I mean, the fact that we've just called you Rye, because let's face it, that clip that you played before, we could have called you anything. We could have called you, what was it? Rye, Ricky, Ricky, Bobby, Billy, Alf. You something can call me Al. I mean, I don't know, but honestly, it has been great, lads. I mean, and I think we've all had our moments. We've all had ups and downs, and that comes with supporting these three mad football teams, And but we haven't let the rivalry get out of control. And I know Dave did want the rivalry to get out of control at times, but I think we've done it in a good way. We've done it with a lot of humour, and we've done it with the support of some great listeners. As I say, the listeners have been spot on. We've had some great input from lots of people over the course of this year. Special shout out to Dunnell, to Barry, and to Matty. Obviously, the Newcastle connection, and we've had input from around the world as well. Lots of people who've contributed to the show. Plymouth Rye, of course, who was a part of the journey right from the start.
Jack in Leicester.
Jack in Leicester, massive point. I mean, I don't want to insult anybody by not mentioning him. I'm sure. And the other two lads
Alts.
can probably chip in as well. Yeah, Alts is another one. But yeah, listen, all in all, lads, thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been great, and look forward to seeing whether I get offered a new contract for the new season.
You've not had yours?
No.
Never.
I'll set you up, Ted. I'll set you up.
I'll head them in.
Teddy, you joined us a little bit later, mate, coming in the 6th of October.
Yeah.
I mean, we had met prior, but obviously work commitments, everything didn't allow us to join, or you to join, until around the early October. But since coming in, mate, I couldn't imagine doing it now without you, our regular Mackem. And I just want to ask you, was there any nerves, and obviously how you feel like looking back on what we've accomplished now?
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, I mean, there's still the odd show where I will get the odd pang of nerves now, and it's because it matters. It actually does matter what we do, and Steve pointed out a few of the listeners there. We have a growing family of them now. In recent weeks and months, we've had the likes of Magnus, we've got Geordie, Charlie, Chef Wed, Kev, Big Nige join us, all of those likes, and obviously, the likes of the lads who've been with us from day one as well. Daniil especially, I mean, that guy's footballing brain just never fails to astound me with some of the stuff he chips in with. It's brilliant. Same as Ty, your pal as well, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's important to people. Football is important to people, and having that friendly rivalry, having that that communication between ourselves. It's a good form of communication for the listener to identify with their club. I know not every Sunderland fan's ever going to agree with me. That's half of the course. What all I try to do is be honest, and I still do get nervous about it because people do give us stuff about what we say, and that's really nice. And that's a nice pressure to have, is to be able to come on and want to deliver and want to give people great content, which hopefully we'll continue to do.
Yeah. No, it's been absolutely fantastic. We are just on now the eve of that illustrious word that we will get Steve to say. When we come back in the next hour, we've got to talk a lot, lads. We've got a lot of catching up to do. We've got to talk about the England selection, Chelsea sacking another manager. We're going to get Daz's thoughts as well on how he feels the breakfast trio have come together, calling us leg ends. Who's his favourite out of our three as well? He's going to have to choose one. Exactly, I know. That's why I just wanted to bring it up again. Daz, hang on. Have you told Ted something that you...
No.
When we come back...
Hang on. Wait a minute. Daz hand-rigged me as a radio chick.
This is ridiculous. All right, Steve, take us to that illustrious time that we do every 8 a.m, mate. We'll be back in the next hour.
8:01, time for the news.
From Yarm to Yibby, Harrington to Horsley Hill, Swarwell to Silverlink. The North East Footy Breakfast with Roy, Steve and Ted.
Right across the North East, the Red, the Toon and the Cat.
It is the North East Footy Brekky. You can get in touch with the show at any point via the WhatsApp 0330 or 43 2002. And don't forget, we're listening out for the Trigger Track. If you'd like to win 2 tickets to see James Arthur at the Riverside Stadium on Saturday, the 8th of June, you're listening out for Say You Won't Let Go, right here across the North East. As soon as you hear it, all you need to do is WhatsApp us into the studio 0330 or 43 2002. Start your message with the word win, and all we need from you is your name. Okay, so 0330 043 2002. Stand by.
In stereo.
I wasn't off. We danced the night away. We drank too much. I held your hair back when you were throwing up. Then you smiled over your shoulder. For a minute I was stone cold sober. I pulled you closer to my chest, and you asked me to stay over. I said I already told you. I think that you should get some rest. I knew I loved you then, but you'd never know. 'Cause I played it cool and I was scared of letting go. I knew I needed you, but I never showed. But I wanna stay with you until we're growing old. Just say you won't let go. Just say you won't let go. I'll wake you up with some breakfast in bed. I'll bring you coffee with a kiss on your head. And I'll take the kids to school, wave them goodbye. And I'll thank my lucky stars for that night. When you looked over your shoulder, for a minute I forget that I'm older. I wanna dance with you right now. Oh, and you look as beautiful as ever, and I swear that every day you'll get better. You make me feel this way somehow. I'm so in love with you, and I hope you know, darling, your love is more than worth its weight in gold. We've come so far, my dear, look how we've grown. And I wanna stay with you until we're great old. Just say you won't let go. Just say you won't let go. I wanna live with you, even when we're ghosts. 'Cause you were always there for me when I needed you most. I'm gonna love you till my lungs give out. I promise till death we part, like in our vows. So I wrote this song for you. Now everybody knows that it's just you and me till we're growing old. Just say you won't let go. Just say you won't let go. Just say you won't let go. Oh, just say you won't let go.
Welcome back to the Northeast Footy Brekky Show.
Is that from the Death Star?
It sounded like it, didn't it?
Was there any way you could have not gotten the hint? Obviously, we are giving away tickets to James Arthur live at the Riverside Stadium. Can you believe it? You were listening out for Say You Won't Let Go by the man himself. If you were listening for the past 5 minutes, you might have heard that song, and we're going to get the winner on the line in the next hour. So stay tuned for that, and make sure that if you haven't already, WhatsApp in 0330 043 2002. You needed to text in win and your name to be in the running. And if you feel like you've missed out today, don't forget tomorrow mid-morning with Daz, you have another chance to get that beautiful ticket to James Arthur, the man who sings like Rye, at the Riverside, coming very, very soon. It's going to be fantastic, and what a concert that will be. And if you are winning this morning, stay tuned for a phone call from the very amazing breakfast crew that I'm joined with here this morning. I have got Steve, the Newcastle man, whose squad are closer to me than they are him for once. Good morning, Steve.
Hi, good morning.
And we've got Teddy, my beautiful Mackem that I wouldn't make breakfast in bed. Good morning, Teddy boy.
Good morning. We're not going to talk about the breakfast in bed that we talked about off air, no?
No, we're not going to. We best not. We best not.
Good morning.
And Daz, the sultry voice, the man who pushes our buttons, the man who is the lip gloss to our ears. Good morning, Daz.
The lip gloss to our ears. I don't think that's brilliant. That is.
Does that work?
I mean, you talk about wordsmith. I mean, there you go.
I know, right?
Thank you. Right.
James, if you want, when you write your next song, you call me up, mate. I've got lyrics for days. Lyrics for days. I tell you, we can make a song up about Ted. Well, it will be about a kebab in a drawer. Don't you worry about that. The lyrics are flowing through me just very quickly, lads. We got to go around as we always do, straight off the news headlines, and go and get your club updates. What's making news for the three Northeast teams this Wednesday morning?
Magpies and Proud. Mags News.
Newcastle United are in Australia and play the first of their two friendlies today. First up is the meeting with Tottenham Hotspur at the Melbourne Cricket Ground that kicks off at 7:45 local time, which is 10:45 British summer time. The game will be live on nufc.co.uk and is free for season ticket holders and members. The 33-man training squad was named by England boss Gareth Southgate on Tuesday, and that will be whittled down to 26 following next month's friendlies. Newcastle have two inclusions in the squad, Anthony Gordon and Kieran Trippier. And the Magpies are once again participating in the annual Hong Kong Standard Chartered Soccer Sevens this weekend, and it'll be staged at Hong Kong Football Club. They'll face Tai Po, Leicester City and Singapore Cricket Club in their opening trio of games, and the squad includes the likes of Alfie Harrison and Darren Palmer and Joe Brayson. Newcastle first entered this tournament in 2012 and have lifted the main trophy on 3 occasions. That's in Newcastle headlines on Wednesday the 22nd of May.
Mackems and Proud. Black Cats News.
Good morning, Sunderland fans. Details have been confirmed for Sunderland's Under-21s Premier League 2 playoff final against Tottenham Hotspur. Graham Merseyside will travel to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this Sunday, the 26th of May. Kick-off is at 3 p.m. Tickets are priced at £10 for adults and just £2 for under-18s and are available by visiting safc.com. Sounds like a nice way to end the season. Hopefully you can get down and give the lads a bit of support for that. Sunderland AFC have also announced the club's first slate of pre-season fixtures ahead of the 2024-25 Sky Bet Championship campaign. The schedule so far is Saturday the 13th of July is a double header, playing against South Shields at their own stadium at 12:30 p.m, followed by a game at the International Stadium against Gateshead FC at 5 p.m. Saturday the 20th and Sunday the 21st of July, games yet to be confirmed but will take place in Costa Blanca. Nice little holiday destination for that one. 27th of July, Saturday, is against Blackpool away at Bloomfield Road, 3 p.m. Tuesday the 30th of July is against Bradford City away. And the weekend of August the 3rd, there will be another game yet to be confirmed. You can get all updates again on safc.com. And finally, Sunderland appear to be interested in the now former Liverpool coach, Peter Krawietz, who leaves alongside Jurgen Klopp. It isn't yet clear whether this interest is serious, but will still Liam Rosenior and Bo Svensson remain the frontrunners for the vacant Sunderland position for now. 52-year-old Krawietz is credited with helping bring through a number of youth players to the senior Liverpool squad, which would be particularly interesting to the Sunderland hierarchy. That's your Sunderland update.
Smoggies and Proud. Borough News.
Good morning, my beautiful off-season Borough fans. How are we? Newcastle United touchdown in Australia yesterday, and I know, why is this in the Borough headlines? Well, I spoke to Bruno, and I said, what about a chance coming to the Borough? He said, I've always preferred red. Ooh, breaking news there. Michael Carrick has also said plenty of optimism for next season at Middlesbrough, and he is hoping that supporters share that positive feeling too, as he looks to use one vital factor to deliver success next term. Carrick is currently enjoying a summer break along with the Borough players before the summer really hots up, with the start of the summer transfer window a little over a fortnight away, followed by the return of players at the end of June, start of July, as pre-season will then get underway into full swing. Borough will be planning to strengthen their squad with new signings this summer, but they aren't planning to be anywhere near as busy as last summer when signing 12 players. We do aim for 4 to 5, Michael Carrick has said, but obviously we need to be on the lookout if any one of our players comes in. I'm not worried about anyone coming in for our players. It's just a sign that what we're doing is working. And on that rumour that Ryan made up about Bruno, I can confirm that if Bruno wants to come, we might have him on the bench. That's your Bar Updates. Good morning.
Together across the northeast.
The tune, the cat, and the red.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Northeast Footy.
Smooth.
Yeah. Like velvet.
I couldn't keep
When do we finish? Is it Friday?
That was a good one.
Was Ryan not finishing the day? I'll just do the show where you and Laura does.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Northeast Footy Brekky Show. Happy Wednesday. We have got 3 shows remaining. Just before the break, we were listening to the very first shows that Ted and Steve and I were on. Daz, we had to get to the news quickly, but it was a good, obviously, insight, just reminiscing and going down a memory lane. And your first memories, I guess, of the Northeast Footy Brekky Show, you've been a radio connoisseur for a lot longer than we have, but yeah, just your thoughts, and obviously you've been an integral part of our morning crew as well.
Well, that's very kind of you to say so. Yeah, I mean, I was involved sort of early on in sort of trying to put the thing together, and you know, I believed in the concept from day one. You know, and it was all about getting the right people. That was the thing for me. We had to get the right people. You know, we know that
still hope.
Yeah. One day. Again, you cross them over, I'll let them in. Right. So the important thing for me was about that chemistry, that sort of the way that the three would work, you know, because we know that, and you said it yourself earlier, Ted, you know, not everyone agrees, not everyone, you know, not everyone would listen to a show that had, you know, some Geordies might not want to listen to a Macam or to a Smoggy, and so we knew that it was an interesting dynamic to try and get together, but I think it works. I think it works really well, and one of the things that binds the three of you together, and whether you like this or not, being bound together. Now there's a thought. No, one of the things that does bind you together is the humour, and that's the magic for me. You know, because quite often it isn't just about the football. It's not about that. It's about the Mickey taking. It's about the stories. It's about the ribbing. It's the wind-ups. It's all those things that I make it that for me makes it the best way to start your morning. You know, and when I'm not on, I'm still listening because I want to hear what Ted's going to say next, what Rye's going to say next, and Steve. You know, that was a cheap shot. No, but
nothing, Dad. I just listen. I'm like a silent assassin, you know. I do listen to what you say. And I write it in this little book, mate.
No, but
at least the book won't crash.
And that's what I'm talking about. It is that relationship. It is those little digs that they have from time to time. Some they're a little bit harder than others, but you know, that's what makes it compelling listening. And you know, I have people who you know I talk to who listen to the show, and that's what they like too. They like that sort of sparky, you know, sometimes prickly relationship, but you know, that's bound together by a love of football and a level of humour that just works across the Northeast. You know, we've got our own sense of humour up here in the Northeast, and I think, you know, that really does come across on this show. So I'm really proud to be part of this show. I think you've done a brilliant job this year, and you know, bring on the new season.
Yep, cannot wait. We will be back, obviously, for the next season. If you just joined us, we're not ending. It's not over.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't bring that up again. Dave's texted Ted and I. Steve is obviously. Look.
It's an open. I mean, it's an open. There's no green ticks on me WhatsApp either. Like.
Oh, we will be back. Obviously, we are ending up this coming Friday, but we will be back in a short few months. Obviously, coming back for the new season. But yes, you will be. You'll be without our sultry voices in the mornings in the next coming weeks. And we were just looking back at some of our memories and highlights, and one that I'm very proud of, lads, that I must say is our Christmas show. I thought that was fantastic. That's one of my highlights, and one show that I always look back on and just have a bit of a laugh. We put together a pretty cheeky song that, funnily enough, didn't reach the heights we thought it would. But it was also Ted's poetry as well, I think, at that time. He wrote us a little something at Christmas time, and it was absolutely sensational. It kind of, for me, lads, at that Christmas show, kind of locked in that what we were doing was actually something special, I guess, and that's one of my highlights. Ted, is there a show that you can think back on that stands out to you that just makes you feel, warm and fuzzy? A moment that you realise that, geez, maybe Rye's more than a mate.
No. Every single show. No, I really enjoyed the Christmas one as well. That was like a big highlight for me. That one. That was just great crack. It was. It was just the daftness, the laughing, the carrying on, and that's exactly, none of that was forced, and it never is. It's very naturally done. What you hear is what you get. There's no like sort of pretense on this at all. But if I could pick another show, I would say, and it wasn't specifically a breakfast show. This one, it was actually the show we did live for the Borough versus Sunderland game, the watch-along where Dave was taking part in the walk towards the end, which was kind of like a Saturday breakfast show, if you like. It was something a little bit different. That for me, obviously, from a personal point of view, obviously having a connection with Chrissy Wood, who the walk was actually in aid of, and hearing some of my old Sunday League teammates getting on the mic as well and having a bit of chat. And I think just uniting for that, and obviously doing the watch along with you and Steve as well. My kind of introduction to YouTube, if you like. I'd never really done anything like that before. So all of that. Excuse me. All of that was a good highlight for me. Don't drink lemon squash when you're on the radio. Top tip for anyone getting involved.
Steve, have you put something in his juice?
No. Because Rye's talking that much because it's his show and because he's finishing the day. I decided to write a poem for Rye. So here you go, Rye.
All right, sure.
There was a big lad called Rye. His problem was he couldn't cry. He's been really upset but had no tears yet, so I helped by poking his eye. Sums up our relationship.
That's probably the most apt thing. That's probably the most apt poem you've ever written for this show.
I think that sums it up perfectly, doesn't it, really? I mean, the relationship that we've got. Steve, obviously, we kicked it off together, mate, in August when it was just you and me. Any highlights of it that stand out to you? Any shows that you can think back on that just, make you proud that we know of what we've achieved?
I mean, you've nailed it with the Christmas show. The Christmas show was a laugh. I mean, and to be honest, I mean, there was so much planning went into that. We never plan any of these shows other than, we all take a turn, writing the headlines up. You kindly put the order in place for who's doing it each week. You keep an eye on that. But it's like, the Christmas show was just spontaneous. We had a laugh. We got to pick our tunes. I think as well. I think just the fact that we've all come up with something different this year. Like we've been given a bit of a free rein. There's been a bit of structure. That we didn't have structure at the start. We got a bit of structure from Dave halfway through. But then he's allowed us to run with different ideas. So some of the things have stuck. Some of the things have gone by the wayside. But I mean, what the facts stood the test of time. That's all the way through, which has been good. I think the intermittent musical stuff that we've done has been a laugh as well, where we've tested each other's knowledge on stuff. The food thing, I think that you came up with, Rye, was really good because some of the stuff you just genuinely couldn't believe that it was available at a football ground. And then I guess my X-Files has just mixed it up a little bit with different. We just never know what we're going to be talking about. It could be anything. So we've all come up with something a little bit different this year, which again over the summer I guess we'll probably have a few ideas as to what to do next year. But the one common thread is like we've all given something to the show. We haven't relied on one person just to come up with the creativity and the ideas. And obviously Dave and Daz have come up with some stuff as well, and it just depends. That the one thing about doing a football show is that there's always something to talk about, and I dare say we probably could have done it over the summer, but I think we all just need that little bit of a break just to spend with our families. And even if we are still getting up at me and Daz and Dave still getting up at the ungodly hour of 6 o'clock, at least we can go off and do something a little bit different for a couple of months. And I think it avoids you going stale when you have a little break as well. You come back we'll come back late July, I think, and we'll be like all ready. There'll be new signings in. The fixtures come out on June the 18th for the Premier League. I think they come out a week before for the Championship. So
they do.
We'll have a good idea of who we're playing and what we're doing, and we'll have friendlies to look forward to. So look, it's been great. There's specific shows are difficult to pick out. I mean, there's been so many. I think sometimes just the technical faults that we've ended up having to cope with when it's been dropped on us in the morning that one of us can't get on, or for whatever reason. And I think the fact we've just managed to unite as a team and get through the various problems, but it's been good crack, and we've had some good guests as well. I think if you said to me, what do you want to improve next year, what do you think we should improve next year, it would be maybe get some more guests on each week. We've had Jimmy Coppers on, we've had Craig on, we've had Peter Reid on.
Yeah,
we need a few more guests on. I
Jeff
think,
Winter,
of course, the team. Yeah, Jeff Winter's been on. Yeah, so big thanks to all of them for jumping on. But we just need maybe have a guest a week or something like that. You know what I mean? Who we can rely on to jump on. But it's been great, lads. It's been great.
Yeah, absolutely love that. Right, we're going to take a short break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about that England squad selection. Has Gareth chosen the right 33-man squad? Obviously, it's yet to be trimmed. And we've also got to get into a certain little special present that I've organised for Steve and Ted. What could that be? Stay tuned. Coming back right after this.
From Wickham to Whitley Bay, Stonygate to Shields, Doggy to Darlow Backlane, Steve, Ted and Rye, the North East Footy Breakfast.
Right across the North East, the Red, the Toon and the Cat.
And you can get in touch with the show at any time, 0330 043 2002. Someone who has done just that, it's our friend Big Nige, as he calls himself. Good morning, chaps.
He's huge.
Morning, Nige.
He says, I might be late to the party. However, he's known Ted for a little while. But he's absolutely loving the show, lads. Yesterday's Hello World had me in tears of laughter. There's obviously a strong dynamic. Great stuff. That's from Big Nige as well. So thank you for that.
Very kind. I was worried there for a second because he knows far too much about me. Nige, you don't know how relieved I am, son.
And we have a winner. Thank you so much to everybody who has taken part in the James Arthur tickets giveaway. I'm sorry, Rye. I know you really wanted these tickets, but the winner this morning is Kay Trundley. Congratulations, Kay!
Well done.
You have got 2 tickets to go and see James Arthur on Saturday, the 8th of June. If you were unsuccessful today, you will get another chance tomorrow, because we've got another pair to give away tomorrow, possibly on my mid-morning show. Who knows? But keep listening right here on the Cat, the Toon and the Red, and you could be another winner with the Cat, the Toon and the Red and SJM Concerts. So congratulations to Kay. She's going to see James Arthur. We'll be in touch with how you can get your hands on those tickets in a little wee while. But brilliant. I'm guessing she's dancing around her little office at work at the moment as we speak. So well done to Kay.
Yeah, congratulations. Well done, Kay. Congratulations from all of us here at the North East Footy Brekky Show, and enjoy being in the best stadium in the world. I can't believe it. I don't know. The hallowed turf that Riley McGree has stepped on. Joined by James Arthur as well. It's going to be incredible. Enjoy it. No, congratulations. Lads, it's been a big news. I mean, obviously it is the off season, but the news for the football does not stop. We saw not only Mogga having to step down yesterday, obviously announcing his retirement from Birmingham, just to get focus on his health, but not only was it him, Pochettino has been sacked by Chelsea. Now, sacked might be a bit too strong. They are saying it was a mutual agreement, and that Maurizio Pochettino has left the club by mutual consent after one season at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea are lining up Kieran McKenna from Ipswich Town and also Robert De Zerbi, who left Brighton as well in the previous games. I mean, lads, is it ever been an off-season, Ted, where you've seen more manager news than player news at the moment? I mean, it seems to be a bit of a manager merry-go-round, and we're literally 2 days post-season.
It's nuts, isn't it? I mean, for me, though, I think Chelsea have acted quickly with the whole De Zerbi thing. I mean, yeah, tell me you're obsessed with Brighton and Hove Albion without telling me you're obsessed with Brighton and Hove Albion. They've taken half their squad. Now, I firmly believe that's who they've got their sights set on for the next manager of their club as well. I think it's a shame. I think Pochettino certainly, we were just talking about it towards the end of the Premier League season there, that he was really starting to turn Chelsea into a galvanised unit again. They were starting to play together. And, I think given next season, obviously they finished in the European place as well. So, you would have thought that would have been enough to at least get another bite at the cherry. But that's not the case. And Chelsea, I think it was Stephen in our WhatsApp group that we don't talk about called them a car crash club. And it's just another one where you're left scratching your head, to be honest. It's a very, very strange decision, especially when their form's drastically improved.
Yeah,
like I say, got them playing together, picking up some excellent results along the way, and then all of a sudden it's not good enough. And yeah, they're going to chase De Zerbi. It's probably the biggest job De Zerbi will ever have. They'll probably give him 4 months and sack him because he doesn't, hit the ground running, which that's just Chelsea all over. It really is.
Steve, did this surprise you? Pochettino obviously managing to, after what was a full season mid-table of the Premier League, the form of late obviously overtaking Newcastle, ended up finishing 6th. We actually thought Pochettino had done very well at Chelsea, but has now left by mutual consent. Did that come as a shock to you at all?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a big shock until we saw Pochettino come out with that cryptic message after the game, and you're thinking, uh-oh, what is going on here? And you're talking about 9 coaches at the club in 10 years. That includes Frank Lampard going in twice. That's absolutely ludicrous for a club. Any club, never mind Chelsea. That is ludicrous for any club. How on earth can you get stability at a club like that? And one can only imagine that there's been a similar, kind of discussion as De Zerbi had at Brighton. What direction do you want to go in? Where do you want us to go? What are we going to do? What are we going to spend? Are we going to sell players? And that's ultimately what's probably led to this decision. A complete polar opposite direction kind of view from owner and manager, and that's it, and coaches now just have literally got coaches that don't have any say about how a football club's run. Gone are the days of Cloughy and George Graham and those kind of managers who literally were doing the business in garages and forecourts and stuff and meeting agents at hotels. Those days have gone. Now you get what you're given and you do what you're told, and it's as simple as that. And I think that's the reason we're seeing the managerial merry-go-round kick into overdrive. Pochettino has done a hell of a job, right? Because Chelsea were out of it this season. He had to go in, he had to get to know the players, he had to get to know the staff, he had to try and get this £1 billion squad activated, motivated and playing as a team, and he's done that. And he's also brought on the likes of Cole Palmer, who hadn't done so well at his previous clubs. Nicholas Jackson, he's got him firing on all cylinders. And what kind of message does this send to those players? Mudryk, who nobody could get a tune out of, has been good as well this season. Casado, wonderful last season, last goal of the season for Chelsea, from the halfway line. But he's Chelsea are back to square one. Now they'll have another manager coming in, and what are they going to do? And it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I can understand the Brighton, the Brighton agreement of De Zerbi leaving more than I can understand the Chelsea one. I'm literally left scratching my head, and I'm sure the Chelsea fans are too, because I think they bought into what Pochettino was going to do. But wow, we await with interest what's going to happen. So many managers now available. Allegri got sacked at the Juventus over the weekend.
Yeah,
there's another big name. There's so many big names for so many big jobs. And also, just to tie in with the England situation, Gareth Southgate in an interview yesterday said if they win Euro 24, he might consider his position, which would suggest that if they don't win Euro 24, he's not going to give in. So he clearly thinks he can still win something for England. So the ambition is to win something and then step down.
It is interesting to see how many managers are just coming out of the woodworks and obviously getting the sack. We also saw a couple closer to us, Teddy boy. Obviously, Vincent Kompany, who's just been relegated with Burnley, coming back into the Championship. He's now the odds-on favourite for the Bayern Munich job. I mean, I not in a million years would have thought Vincent Kompany would be at Bayern Munich. Did this shock you at all? I mean, for me, I think
I would have had Vincent Price ahead of him, mate. To be honest, it just absolutely baffles all logic. It really does. I mean, it's wild, isn't it? He's failed. He has failed as a Premier League manager this season. I mean, he had a terrific Championship squad. He added to it, and I think, to be honest, if it had been anybody else and had been any other contractual situation, he would have been given the push by Burnley. You can't tell me any other. Sean Dyche was more successful with Burnley than what Vincent Kompany's been, but because he's on that almighty long contract, Burnley are kind of a little bit hamstrung with it, and they can't get rid of him without paying an extortionate amount of money. The Bayern Munich thing, I don't get it. I really don't get it at all. It's I could see a De Zerbi or somebody like that going, do you know what I mean? And I would even say like Eddie Howe definitely above Vincent Kompany for a Bayern Munich job. Somebody who's at least achieved something in the Premier League. Not like, I mean, it's just bizarre. I mean, I still be seeing Neil Warnock's in for it. It's just ridiculous, really. Like, it's a head scratcher. I think hopefully it's just rumour, because I cannot see Bayern Munich going for that surely.
No, it's incredible. There's obviously the news coming overnight that Pochettino has left Chelsea by mutual consent. Did it take you by surprise at all?
Yeah, couldn't believe it. I totally did not see that one coming. He was just starting to get things going, wasn't he? You could just see that from their point of view, they have had a shocker of a season, and the hand he was dealt. To do what he has done, and particularly that last run that they had at the end of the season, which has surprised everybody. This guy's a good guy. He's a good coach. He knows his stuff. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I actually thought it was another one of those, fake news things when I first saw it. I first saw it in the group, and I was like, more fake news, and then looked it up and went, no, really? But it doesn't surprise me. What are they thinking? What actually are they thinking? And who are they going to bring in to try and pick up that team? Because let's face it, the job's not done there. There's some serious work that needs doing, and they paid a lot of money for a lot of players that have underperformed this season or have shown flashes of brilliance. I wouldn't be surprised if we sat here this time next season saying exactly the same, that they've sacked another manager.
Clip it, and we'll play it back. We'll see whether you end up in 12 months' time. But I think it's absolutely horrendous move there from Chelsea. And if it was mutual, maybe Maurizio wanted to leave. I'm not too sure what the relationship was there, but there's something seriously wrong at that football club behind the closed doors for the amount of managers they've gone through at the moment. It's just it dumbfounds me how you can go through so many managers, and I thought Maurizio had done quite a fantastic job towards the end of that season. Lads, we're going to take a short break. We're going to get your news around what's happening on the roads around the northeast. When we come back, we're going to talk about Gareth Southgate's England selection and bring it on home here for 9 a.m. on the Northeast Footy Brekky Show.
Together across the Northeast.
The tune, the cat, and the red.
Welcome on back to the Northeast Footy Brekky Show. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. We hope you're fantastic, safe and well. Lads, last night, we spoke about it yesterday's show, Gareth Southgate and the England team has been announced. There were some shocks. In fact, one big one that came through, which we actually predicted, was that Marcus Rashford has been dealt the ultimate blow. He has not made the England squad for Euro. Neither has Jordan Henderson, who made that quick move to Ajax after a failed Saudi Arabian move, moving back to Ajax, hoping that he could secure a place for Euro, but it hasn't worked in the end. Both him and Marcus Rashford missing out. Gareth Southgate has named a 33-man squad. Steve, we'll come to you first, mate. What did you firstly make of the squad, mate, and were there any surprises or of inclusions or non-inclusions for you in that squad?
I mean, it doesn't look like Henderson's going to go, does it? It looks. I mean, that was the big talking point yesterday. We've all felt Henderson's a shoe-in, but it doesn't look like he's going to be going. I mean, he's got so many choices. I was delighted to see Anthony Gordon selected for the 33-man squad and Trippier. No surprise, because obviously one of the friendlies is at St James's Park and the tickets haven't sold out. So they clearly want to have a Newcastle representative at that game, but. I mean, it's as we expected. There's a mishmash of up and coming players, young players, as well as experienced pros. We wait and see that the next squad's the important one. But we need to see how the team performs in these two friendlies. And people might say they're meaningless. Southgate might know his team, but this. These two friendlies are played for a reason. It's to see who's fit, to see who isn't fit, to see who's going to play well together. I think we all know what we'd like to see, but it's whether Southgate is for changing. I'd love to see Foden play the number 10 role in the tournament. Is he going to have the gumption to do that in the tournament? I just don't know. I still feel that this squad has got so much talent and so much opportunity to go on and win something. However, it's about picking the strongest team, and picking the strongest team means picking the strongest team and picking them in the right positions, and not trying to hammer square pegs into round holes. And if it means that Foden is the form player at the moment and he's better than Bellingham, then don't play them together. You have to pick one, Gareth. This isn't club football. You don't run the risk of upsetting somebody, and it spoils the rest of your season. And you've got somebody in the dressing room who's walking around in a huff. People should be proud to play for their country, and they should understand that you're doing something for the right reasons, and you're doing it for the benefit of the team. So if I could have 5 minutes with Gareth Southgate, I would just say to him, look, it's obvious what you need to do here. This is your best player in that position. Play him in that position. And listen, if he doesn't have a good game, you can take him off and put the other player in. Yeah. But you need grow some cojones. Do what's right for the country this time, Gareth. Don't just rely on those people because they're tried and tested and because you played them in the past. And same goes for the back four. We've got an aging back four. Take a gamble every now and then. Take a gamble and give a young player a run out in a position. Trust them to do the job. You've trusted them to select them. Don't take them along to carry the water bottles. Allow them to play. But yeah, interesting squad. But the next one's the most important one.
Teddy boy, obviously you have the under-17s coming to your neck of the woods, mate, but England, yes, obviously going through that 33-man squad yesterday, mate, and unfortunately no Jack Clark, to no one's surprise, but obviously, was there any surprises of him leaving out Jordan Henderson and Marcus Rashford for you, or any inclusions that took you off your rocker?
I was surprised but not disappointed that they weren't picked. I think it's the right thing to leave them. I think Jordan's done his bit. He's been a good captain for England, but obviously there's not the legs in him anymore. Marcus Rashford, I don't think is from seeing his demeanour and his body language on the pitch, I don't think he's a good person to have around the dressing room for something like that. I think he blows hot and cold too much a little bit for me. The body language is all wrong at times for Man United. So, yeah, I can see why he's been left at home. I'm disappointed Solanke didn't make it. I think choosing Ivan Toney over Dominic Solanke was a mistake. I think Solanke's been more consistent over the season. And he's probably not going to be looking for a Ladbrokes as well. So, there's always that. Defence-wise, a little bit of an eyebrow raised at Luke Shaw being included. I think there was better options. I personally think Rico Lewis would have been the better option to take, who can play in that position and also plays a central defensive midfielder as well. So you've got a bit of utility there. The goalkeepers, I think, are absolutely horrendously picked. I think both Nick Pope and Jack Butland should feel very aggrieved not to be included in that. I think taking Aaron Ramsdale is utterly pointless. He's played next to no football at all in the first team for Arsenal this season because of the form of David Raya. James Trafford, one for the future maybe, but I just think there were stronger options there to add to that squad. So yeah, even in midfield, I mean, Adam Wharton's had a good second half of the season since signing from Blackburn. Obviously went to Crystal Palace, but at the same time, I think Southgate's missed out two players who are playing for AC Milan in Tomori as a central defender, and I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek has had an absolutely astounding season for AC Milan, finishing second in Serie A. He's been brilliant, and to be overlooked for the sake of Adam Wharton, I just think that's a little bit hard done by again. But I'm never going to agree with anything Gareth Southgate does. I think he's a dinosaur, and I can't wait for him to go.
Dazzy boy, how did you make that England squad announcement, mate? Me as an Aussie, I actually looked at it and I was like, go Australia. But for you, obviously over there, obviously some news there without Marcus Rashford. Still a very, very strong attacking lineup. Still questions for me though when I look at your defence.
Yeah, I think the defence is the issue. I think is the worry. What's going to happen there? I think he will still start with Stones and Maguire. I think that if they're both fit, they'll be his first choice. Who'll play on the left and right is still up for debate. I'm not sure about Luke Shaw either. I know he's been plagued with injuries. I think there were better options. I think it was right. No Rashford, Henderson, obviously. Chilwell and James, I think they were two that I thought maybe he should have taken a punt at. Solanke, without a doubt, I think should have been in there. I would have picked him over Toney. I'm with Ted on that one. Kieran Dyer was an interesting omission because he's gone over to Germany and has done really, really well. And I thought he might have. He's a utility player, isn't he? He can play at the back and as a defensive midfielder as well. I thought he might have been in with a shout. But we've got an embarrassment of attacking players, and Steve said it earlier. It's just get them on the pitch. Get them in the right positions if they can, because the one thing that stands out is that, and it was talked about a lot yesterday, is that Ford and Bellingham thing. Can they play together? It's like, do we have to do this Lampard-Gerrard thing again? Can they play together? And they're both incredible players. You're top coach, Southgate. Sort it out. Work it out. Sit down with them. How are you going to get the best out of them? That's what we need to see, and that's what I worry about a little bit. Has Southgate got? Has he got the nous to get the best out of those attacking options that we've got? Because it's an absolute riches. We've never been in a better position, I don't think, to win something with this squad. And yeah, so I'm positive. I think it's a good move. And particularly not seeing Henderson in there.
Yeah, no, it was interesting for me to see. Absolutely incredible. It was some, not picking Henderson, I think, sent a big statement, and Rashford as well. It could have gone with the tried and tested, and it was a good move by Southgate, I think, to finally acknowledge that you've got to pick on form. You've got to pick players that are putting their hands up week in, week out. And sadly, Henderson, Rashford, and a few others that have missed out weren't doing that. Nick Pope coming back from injury and only appearing on the weekend, I think, unfortunately, let him down a bit, obviously, with that shoulder injury. Otherwise, I think he would have been right up there. Ramsdale hasn't been playing for Arsenal, but still somehow found his way in there as well. So it's, lads, going into the Euros, so I'm excited for you as an Australian looking in, because I think it's England's best chance with the attacking threat you've got, but I still worry about the defensive capabilities of that squad with Pickford, Maguire. I look at that back, that, you know, everyone looks at that forward line and it's incredible. Cole Palmer, Bellingham, you know, Watkins, Bowen and Maddison both picked. I mean, on their day, do you know what I mean? You've got, you know, Phil Foden in Player of the Season, Anthony Gordon, do you know what I mean? Like, the riches of goals that team can create is incredible. Now, well, can Southgate get them all playing together as a team, though? Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of stars. Do you know what I mean? Nope. There's a lot of stars, but is there a team of, you know, is there a team of stars, or is there a star of a team sort of thing? And that's the question I think that Gareth is going to have to break down. And then obviously the defensive. He's a centre back. He knows the defensive game better than anyone, and he's going to have to be defensive come the Euros. But it's going to be an interesting watch, that's for sure. And I'm going to be watching the Euros very closely to see if they make or break. But that is it, lads. That is it. Wednesday morning is done and dusted. Your Northeast Footy Brekky show is at an end. I hope you've enjoyed my Wednesday show, the last one that I will host.
It's been
tomorrow.
Emotional.
We will have. We will have Stevie Boy for his last one, and then don't miss Friday with Ted, who will come in with a big last day of school, if you will. I believe, Daz, this might be your last Brekky show. Hey, is this your last Brekky show with us this season?
It is my last Brekky show with you guys for this season. I know. It's been an absolute pleasure, as I said earlier on, being part of this show. There'll be an announcement on Friday about what's happening next week as well, because that's exciting as well. What's going to take the place over the summer? How can you follow the Northeast Footy Breakfast? So
we can just send the listeners pictures of us in our like mankinis and stuff if you want us to do that.
I told you not to send that out.
Listen, just before we do disappear. Just before we do disappear, a couple of messages in from our friend Matty. We mentioned him earlier on. He's been quiet. He's just done another Doctor Who episode after meeting a guy on the metro. It inspired him, so he's written 83 pages in 4 days.
From Plymouth,
and also he's sent a message out to Chelsea. Be careful what you wish for, Chelsea fans as well. The club is literally a circus.
Whoa.
Yeah, it is. It's
he's not wrong. He's nail on the head there. Yeah, nail on the head. Daz, mid-mornings with you, mate. What have we got coming up? And I am going to miss you for the next couple of mornings. But thank you for hanging out with us as always.
Yeah, thank you, chaps. I mean, it's all the usual nonsense in my show, but I do want to say before I go, it's been an absolute pleasure. Never a chore getting up early to come and be part of this really, really special show. So thank you, guys.
Please, I promised myself I wasn't going to cry.
And I will miss you. So take it easy, all right, and have a good one. And the lads will be back tomorrow morning from 7. Have a good one, guys.
See you guys.
Thank you. Goodbye, boys.